Hey y'all, Joe here with Southern Coastal Cooking. Tonight, what we're going to do is I'm going to do a brisket class. I'm going to teach y'all the brisket basics, how to trim a brisket, pick one out, season it, and put it on the smoker. Everything you want to know about just doing a brisket so it'll turn out great at home. Now first off, what I've got here is a USDA Choice full or whole packer brisket. That includes the point, which is here, and the flat, which is down here. This one weighs usually, they weigh about 15 pounds. This is the fat cap side up I've got here. Well, make sure you don't just get a flat, which is this side down here. You'll see those in the grocery store a lot. Usually it has the fat cap taken off. That will dry out really quick, y'all. You want to get this whole packer here at first. And see, it's got the point on this side. And there's a thicker pointed side, and then you've got the flat, which is a little bit thinner here. First thing you want to do is you want to pick out a brisket that's almost kind of even in size. Main is, of course, this end's going to be thicker, but it's kind of even in width and stuff like that. That's the thing. If you can get it cooking as evenly as possible, that's great. Of course, the point's going to take a little bit longer. Another thing you want to do, you want to trim the brisket just a little bit. And what I've got here is a fillet knife. It's a really good SOG knife. And you want to take this big huge hunk of fat. You want to get some of that off, but not all of it. So a lot of it we're going to use to hold on to the grill, hold on the flavor. And I tell you, what I used to do when I used to do briskets is I'd trim a whole lot more of the fat off than I needed to, and ended up what would happen if I wasn't careful, I'd dry the brisket out. So you don't really have to trim off all that much fat. This fat's going to act as a protective layer to protect this brisket from the hot fire beneath. Depends on what kind of smoke or pitch you got, but the fat, you can always remove it later on. I'm serious about that. So, you know, yeah, there's some fat on here, but don't really worry about it as much as trimming. I mean, if you see some silver skin or something like that sinew, you want to try to trim everything up and make it kind of even, but like I said, this fat is a good thing on the brisket. Now, I'm going to flip it over to the non-fat side. Now, this side's a little bit different. This side, I do want to remove some of the fat because this is the side that's going to be up in the cooker. This is where I want it to get all the bark from. It's where I want it to really take in some smoke flavor. You want to just kind of, see there's a big vein of fat right through there. Kind of go through there with the knife. Just take some of that out. And, you know, you don't have to, like I said, you know, best to not take quite as much than take out too much. So you don't want your meat to dry out, but you just want to kind of take some of these big old hunks right off the end. It's just sheer fat, not connected to any meat. It's not really going to help us with the end product. That's like part of the decal there. So you want to make sure any silver skin or any of that, if you see some of that, just take that right off. Check over here. See a little bit of fat on this side. Kind of trim that some. Trim this up a little bit. And you can have your butcher at the grocery store do this for you as well. Some of them will, and some of them, that you had a butcher in Vicksburg tell me, he's like, son, leave all that fat on there. He's like, that really is flavor in your brisket. And it can be removed later, and I'll show you that later in the video. Like I said, you want to make sure you get any kind of silver skin or any of that off, though, for sure. Because that's not flavor, and that won't melt. But, you know, just kind of want to trim it up a little bit and make it look a little nicer. But for the most part, we'll leave a lot of this fat on here. And that's pretty much all we got to do for the trimming, y'all. Like I said, just take some of this stuff off. Now, let me throw this fat away, and we'll get to the rubbing down. All right, y'all, so now let's talk about rubbing the brisket. Of course, with the brisket, you don't need to put a bunch of mustard or anything like that on there like you would with the pork butt. What we want to do is put maybe just a little bit of oil on there. I like using this Butcher's Barbecue, this grilling oil, steakhouse oil. You know, it's just kind of flavored. It's really almost like kind of like that popcorn butter. You know, you get in the movies. It's kind of strange, but it's good flavor to it. It's good on steaks and stuff. But you could just use olive oil canola oil, something like that, just a little bit. Doesn't take much at all, y'all. So you just want to put a little bit of oil on the brisket, and this just helps the rubs to stick. Now, I'm going to start out with basically like a salt, pepper, garlic rub, and this is actually Butcher's Barbecue, their steak and brisket rub. It's a really good rub. Now notice I'm doing the fat side first. There's not needs much rub on this fat side. I'm going to just put a little bit on this because I'll be honest with you, a lot of this stuff ain't going to get through to the meat on this side. You know, it's a lot of fat on here, but the fat is going to bring some flavor in. So put a little bit of this rub on there. And I'm going to come back with something else I like to use. Let me show you. This is a Dizzy Pig. They call it Red Eye Express. It's a coffee infused rub. I absolutely love this rub. It has a little bit of coffee in it. I'm going to put some of this on here, and this is just going to give it wonderful little flavor. It really brings out that beef. It's got some cracked black pepper in it and stuff like that. So they said we'll put some of this rub on this side. Also going to go through there with some real, you know, cracked black pepper. And let me get something to hold this with. Just basically crack some fresh cracked black pepper on here, and you really can't beat that. Yeah, that's going to really add some flavor to it. So fresh cracked black pepper, that coffee type of rub. I know Weber, I think, makes one you could use. Make something your own. But basically what you want to get on here is salt, pepper, and garlic, granulated garlic. You know, you could get that simple, honestly. You know, just a brisket. You just really want the beef to come through. So we'll go ahead and put a little bit more of this on here, and then we'll flip it over. So I got this nice and rubbed down here on the fat side, and we'll go ahead and flip it over. We're going to do the meat side, and that's the important part. Definitely want to get some oil on here. You know, get that where it'll really just adhere. Get the rubs adhering to this meat. Some really nice stuff here, y'all. This grilling oil from Butcher's Barbecue. It's just packed with flavor, nice buttery, and it just helps to work the rubs into the meat. So we'll get that, and we'll put this, this stuff, the steak rub, or the steak and brisket rub on here. And put a good little bit on this side, not too much, but you know, you want this is the side you want to flavor. This is where all your flavor stuff's going to impart. This is just going to be up out here on the smoker. And just you want to get some on the sides as well, because y'all, I'm telling you what, this is going to be good. So get that in there, that rub, and then I want to come back with the Dizzy Pig Red Eye Express, okay, and get a nice coating of this stuff here. This is what's really going to give that nice mahogany, that look to it. Get that good Red Eye Express. This stuff is beautiful, y'all. So let me go ahead and get this nice and coated up, and we'll be ready for the smoker. Y'all, got this beauty rubbed down. Let's get ready to get it out to the smoker. I'm going to talk to you about what we're going to do out there as far as smoking wood and temperature and all that. All right, y'all, right here at the smoker, and what I'm cooking on tonight is a Yoder YS640. Really nice smoker here. It's one I use a lot on my channel. It's a pellet cooker. I'm going to use some really super premium pellets. I use lumberjack pellets. Let me show you the flavor I'm using tonight. I'm using the 100% Hickory from Lumberjack, 100% pellets. If you want to make sure your hopper, I'd already put a few in earlier, want to make sure you fill your hopper up with these Lumberjack pellets before you go to bed, because I didn't do that one time, run out of pellets. That's no good. So we'll fill this thing to the brim with some pellets here. Alright, we got that nice and full. I'm going to set my cooker to 225. Temperature I want to be on for this long, all night low and slow. Alright, y'all. So we'll go get the brisket, put out here. I'm going to put it on here. Now I'm going to put the flat down here toward this. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to put the point down here toward this end of the cooker, because it gets a little bit hotter where the smokestack is. And I'm going to put my flat over here, a little bit cooler. You know, it doesn't really matter if you're all even, but I'm just saying if you have a spot that's a little bit hotter, put your point down there, because it's thicker, it's going to cook slower. All right, y'all, get the brisket out here. Let's open this up. Hopefully y'all can see just a little bit inside of there. Now I'm gonna grab a light here real quick. So my headlamp will help y'all to see just a little bit better. But anyway, that's what we're looking at here. I'm gonna put the brisket in. Like I said, fly it all the way up this way. Point down here. Oh yeah, there we go. Just like that. And that, my friends, is what's going to get the brisket done just like she needs to be. So we'll let that just cook. Come back a little later and put a probe in the point. But for now, that's going to be good, y'all. We on it. All right, y'all, so we've been out here in the Yoder for a few hours. What we're going to do now is just let it go slow and slow all night. Put a thermometer over there in the point. Put in the thickest part of the point just to, gauge that temperature, make sure it didn't get over 200, anything like that. And actually, what I'm shooting for, I'm going to tell you, I'm thinking by the morning time, and get about 7 o'clock or so, it's going to be around 180, 170, maybe 160. Just, let it go low and slow here, 225, 220, somewhere around there, and let it go all night, y'all. Very simple. Hey, good morning, y'all. Brisket's been on the Yoder now for about 9 hours. It's created a wonderful bark here. The internal temp, I'm getting about 150 over here in the point and about 165 over here in the flat. At this point, y'all, I'm going to go prepare a bed for it inside. I'm going to go ahead and take this brisket off. We're going to prepare it for the next stage of cooking. We've got plenty good hickory smoke and a wonderful bark already made. All right, y'all, if you notice, we're back inside. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice resting spot for this brisket. Well, actually, for it to finish slow cooking. We don't need to waste any more of those wonderful lumberjack 100% hickory pellets. We don't need any more smoke. We just need a real constant low and slow, moist environment, okay? Let me show you what we got here. Got a big hotel pan here. Now, if you wanted to, let me tell you that you can finish this step inside your cooker. I find it a lot easier to finish on the interior inside. So what we got is a big hotel pan. You want to take some carrots. That's what I'm using, sacrificial vegetables. Put a little cut flat piece right there to hold them where they won't roll. And we'll set these carrots along here. And what this is going to do is hold the brisket right up off the bottom of the pan because we're going to add some liquid here, okay? Very important to keep everything nice and moist, okay? So we got this here. I'm going to bring this outside. I'm going to set the brisket on top of it, and I'm going to come right back in and see y'all in a second. Y'all see I've got this sitting right up here on top of those carrots. Looks wonderful, smells great. And y'all, what I'm going to do, I've got some beef stock is what you want to get. Some of this good stuff here. I like this brand, whatever. You want to pour it on the side over here. You don't want to pour it on the brisket bark. So you pour it on the side till we get a little bit, cover the bottom of this pan. And this is going to make some great juice and stuff for later as well. Start over here a little bit. Look at that. Just about I would say a 1/4 of an inch, no more than that really, of that jus in here, because it's going to make some of its own juice as well. Then what we want to do, so if y'all can see the whole pan here, I want to start covering it with some foil. You want to cover this tightly, all right, with foil, because, well, before you do that, what you want to do is you want to put the temperature probe back in there, all right? Wouldn't help us just put these, might put a couple of them just for good reference. One right here, one over here. That way we get both sides of this point. Dang, I don't know what that was sticking in, but here we go. Go ahead and just put this foil on here and seal this puppy up real tight, y'all, because we don't want steam getting out of here. What we're doing is we're just giving this thing a real nice, just steam bath, basically. All right, so let's get this sealed up. All sealed up here. Like I said, we're going in the preheated 250-degree oven, y'all. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna plug these probes into my Tappy-Q, and we're just gonna let this go for several hours until we hit 200 degrees, basically, on that brisket, y'all. Like I said, there's no real reason to finish that out there on the barbecue pit unless you have a pit that just, you have extra fuel in there, like let's say charcoal or something like that. It's still burning, that's fine. Just use that heat. Don't waste it. But with the pellets, as soon as you cut it off, it's off. You're not burning any more pellets, so that's good. I don't want to waste additional pellets, but also I find that, like I said, bringing the side wrapping and all that foil, turn the oven on 250, get a really consistent heat. That's what I did last time throughout my experimenting and everything to get this perfect brisket like you want. So y'all just follow my instructions like that. Make sure you get a good seal on it. Get your brisket up there off the ground just a little bit. Put the liquid in the bottom. And I'm telling y'all, you can't go wrong. Y'all just follow with me. Okay, y'all. Let's see. 7, 8, 9. The brisket has been in the oven for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Okay. So that's a total. So we cooked for about 8, 9, 10, about 11 hours, 11.5 hours. So it's saying it's 200 degrees, and some of that part of the point. So we'll pull it out and we'll check it for tenderness. Y'all, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll go ahead and take this foil. Be careful because there's hot steam and everything here. Look at that steam rolling out of there. Oh, look at that wonderful jus in there. That is gorgeous. Let's just test this, and what I want it to be is what I call probe tender. You want this to be like butter when you pull a probe out and in. Look at that. Oh yeah, the probe just goes in and out. There's no resistance. That is what the tenderness that we're looking for, y'all. That brisket, that's how you know a brisket's done. Not really by the temperature. Temperature gives us a good idea. But the idea with a brisket is you want to get it to this tenderness. You want to get it to that temperature, rather, without drying it out. And look at that wonderful juice in there and everything. Now, next stage, what we're going to do, we're going to wrap this bad boy up. And oh yeah, we're going to let him rest for a good while. We'll wrap him in foil, y'all. Real important. We got the brisket right here. Wrap it tightly in this foil. Just totally enclose it, y'all, in thick aluminum foil. And we're going to get it in a cooler and let this thing rest, y'all. That's the key. Get some more foil here. Y'all, I'm even going to add some of this juice in here with it, just so hold the moisture in. We'll go ahead and just seriously wrap this thing up. Seal it all up. What you want to do is get a nice clean towel. You're going to take that brisket, it's wrapped in foil, and we're going to wrap it in this towel. Okay? Just like that to give it some further insulation. Okay? There we go. Wrap that in the towel. And right there, kind of in the middle of everything. Push that over there just a little bit. Now I'm going to put this into a cooler. I got a cooler down here on the floor. You can see. I'm going to take this cooler, pop it open, put this towel in the cooler, the brisket, and we'll let it sit there. It needs to sit there for at least an hour. 4 would be best. We're going to go 4. All right, y'all, so let's kind of go over what we did here. Last night, about 9 o'clock is when we put the brisket on. Pulled it off the smoker at about 7:30 this morning. So that's about 8 hours or so. So that was perfect. Got a great amount of smoke. And then put it in here in the oven about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And now it's about 10:30. So just for a few hours there, a couple hours in the oven. And now we're putting it in the cooler to rest. And at 4 hours, by 2 this afternoon, it'll be ready to eat if you wanted to. We're probably going to have it for dinner so it can rest longer. It'll stay warm, it'll stay hot in the cooler, so don't worry about that. But just wanted to show y'all, and even, now I'll show you this hopefully tomorrow, still doing this video, that the next day it's excellent, sliced and reheated. Great way to serve the brisket. You remove the fat and everything else. So anyway, remember, just make sure you let it sit. You want to retain all those juices, everything to get, you know, when you just cut into it now, all your juice is going to bleed out. It's going to dry it out. Hey guys, we're almost to the point of slicing that brisket. Before we do, I want to show you some great sauces to serve with your brisket, okay? I'm going to make a brown barbecue-based sauce. I'm also going to make a spicy horseradish sauce, okay? This is great stuff for brisket. As first, we're going to start with a spicy horseradish-based sauce. All right, it's a really good sauce. A little small, little Tupperware here. And you want to take some nice horseradish, you know, the kind that you find in the refrigerated section, the good hot stuff, okay? And we'll put, that's about a tablespoon to maybe about 2 tablespoons of this horseradish in here. So I want this to be pretty spicy, y'all. This is going to be really, really good. About 2 tablespoons of horseradish. And then you want to get some horseradish mustard or some, you know, some, we got stone ground mustard, something like that. I'm going to put, let's see, it's about a tablespoon. About a tablespoon and a half of the stone ground mustard, y'all. Really good stuff. And then you want to take just mayonnaise, okay? A little bit of mayonnaise. I would say about a cup of the mayo to that, and we'll just mix it and look for consistency, y'all. This is a really good way to make a spicy, creamy horseradish sauce for your brisket, okay? All right, that looks good. That's what we're looking for, nice and thick, just like that. You want to keep this cold, folks. And one more last little touch. I like to add a little touch of sriracha to it. Just a little bit. If I can get this to come out of here right. Here we go. About a teaspoon of sriracha. That just gives it that really nice little bite to it. A little bit of flavor. So, got that there. Y'all will set this aside in the refrigerator. It's going to be the brown sauce, or almost like the barbecue-based sauce. All right, first we're going to start with your favorite, whatever you like, a sweet barbecue sauce, okay, y'all? Sweet barbecue, I'm going to add a cup of your favorite sweet barbecue sauce, okay? Just like that. Then, we're going to come in, let me actually get a measuring spoon. I'm going to measure this stuff. I'm going to take Worcestershire sauce. I've got another bottle of it too if this isn't enough, but take 1, 2, about 3 tablespoons of that. Then we get A1 of the original steak sauce. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of it. Right? Then y'all want to give this a stir. And this should make a perfect little glaze for a brisket sauce. After we stir it up, then we'll add 1 or 2 more things. Okay, you want to add, especially to this, since you want on the brisket, fresh cracked black pepper, and you don't want to skimp on that. I'll add about a teaspoon of that. Okay, y'all. I mean, fresh cracked black. It's important here. And I'll tell you, I've made these sauces a couple weeks ago. Just got rave reviews. Everybody loved my brisket sauces. So that's about a teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. You want to stir that in there. That's important. You want that pop of that fresh cracked black pepper in your brisket sauce. You could even add a little bit more if you wanted to. I think that's good. Give it a taste. Make sure that's what we're looking for. That's it. That's it. Almost right there. I'm gonna add just a tad more cracked black pepper. Y'all, that's a great brisket sauce. Tremendous sauce right there. So y'all give that a try. 2 sauces. Y'all, now I got the brisket out here on my Pro-Teak board. We're gonna unwrap it. We're gonna get ready to slice this beauty. It's gonna be nice, y'all. Let me get it unwrapped. This the brisket is done. Rested up and everything like that. Look, here's the flat. Over here, here's the point. You see, this is just a gorgeous piece of meat here. Y'all, I am just super excited about it. And what we need to do now is we need to find the grain of the meat, which way it runs. What I do for that is I just pull a little piece off there. And I see the grain's running this way. So I'm going to slice just like that. All right, just want to make sure that's the way you want to slice against the grain. So what I want to do is get me a nice slicer knife here. Right there. Good brisket slicing knife. And want to get something to hold on to him with. So let's just take a little slice here. Just like that, y'all. Yes, sir. I'll just do this little end. Look how this is just falling apart. Put something up here for you. Now this is the flat, and remember that. I mean, look how tender and juicy this flat is, and you can think how juicy. I mean, look at the juice. Let me show you. Pull test. Now you know the point's always going to be even more tender and juicy, but look, this is a flat. Look at that. Just pull right apart right there. I mean, the brisket flat with juice like you wouldn't believe. I mean, look at that juice right there. Taste on this bad boy. Hey, y'all, this is some delicious brisket right here. Just so juicy, amazing, tender. I mean, that's what you're looking for. Like I said, just your perfect foolproof brisket. You can get it right like this. Let me make up some sandwiches with that sauce and everything and get right back to y'all. All right, y'all, we're going to make a nice brisket sandwich now. Got some toast here. Take some of that flat, that juicy old flat there. You want to put that right there on that plate, on that toast. Yes, sir. Look at the smoke ring on there too, y'all. Just perfect. That fat that melted away. Come on now. About 3 good strips on there. Maybe just a tad more. That's a beautiful looking piece of sandwich right there. Excuse me, y'all. And what we're going to do, we're going to take some of this sauce, the cream sauce I was telling you about, and we're going to just drizzle a little of that over this. Just like that, yes sir. Like cream horseradish sauce. And I'll take just a tad of the other sauce I got here. Remember the one I made with the brown sauces? I'll drizzle just a little bit of that over it. Just like that. Just a little bit of this now. Yes sir. And then put the lid on this bad boy like that. And that's a brisket sandwich, y'all. Delicious. Now that's what you want to eat with this brisket. Just like that. That is going to be fantastic. Y'all tonight, I'm even sending some over to the neighbors. This is how I cut it up for the neighbors when I send it. Sliced up like this. Put a little bit of au jus. It was in that saved from where it cooked. And brush all that sauce on top. That way they can heat it up later on. It's just going to be just perfect. Well, y'all, that pretty much concludes my brisket class 101 video. I hope y'all learned some from the video, and I hope it wasn't too long for you. I'm sorry, I tried to include all I could. Let's go over some of the key points. First off, remember we smoked the brisket for about 8 hours or so using the 100% Hickory lumberjack pellets, or if you just have some hickory wood chunks, whatever you want. You get about 8 hours of smoke at 225 on there. We turn around and we did about 3 hours or 3.5 hours at 250, covered with the juice on the bottom. Remember, sitting up off the bottom was sitting on those carrots or whatever you want to sit on. That's just to ensure you have a nice tender brisket without drying it out, y'all. Couple of pointers I want to give. Be sure to get at least a USDA choice when you buy brisket. I've done some of the select briskets and they just tend to dry out. They don't have the marbling in the meat. They have a lot of fat on the fat cap and stuff like that, but it's not there stratified in the meat to give it that juiciness that you want, okay? Just a bunch of fat melted on the meat's not necessarily make it more juicy, okay? Another thing, back to the fat, remember, don't overthink it on the trim. I saw what I did, very little trimming. Don't worry about it. Go fat cap down, and y'all, it's gonna be all good. Thank y'all so much. And look, I'll do some more advanced brisket videos, maybe on burn ends, maybe on a brisket on a charcoal cooker, unwrapped. Do some maybe on doing a flat. I think that'd be good, you know, for those of you who just can get the flat without the point, trying to keep it tender without drying it out. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Please like my videos, sub my channel, share my videos. Again, God bless y'all. Thank you so much. Check out southerncoastalcooking.net. The guys over at Lumberjack, Yoder Smokers, all that good stuff, y'all. And if you're into it, check out my other channel, Magnolia Blade and Gun. Thank y'all so much again, and God bless.